Welcome everybody. I'm so happy you've joined us today. This workshop is about social media during these wild times of COVID-19. So let's jump right in. My name's Ariel Rubin and I'm a venture catalyst with Oregon Rain. Many of you know already of us. So I have been working for Rain for the last year and have my own business as well, and have been a part of a few startups and a family business. You can reach out to me anytime. Here's my email. And because this is about social media, please follow me on Instagram, and also you can friend me on Facebook. That'd be great. So Oregon Rain stands for the Regional Accelerator and Innovation Network. And our mission is to partner with Oregon communities to catalyze entrepreneurial ecosystems, connect entrepreneurs to resources, including overlooked entrepreneurs, and contribute to the creation of prosperous economies. I just want to do a special shout out to all of our sponsors and funders. We're funded by 20 cities, 5 counties, 3 foundations, and quite a few other private sponsors as well. So we're very grateful to all of you. And we have a special sponsor today, the City of Florence, and I have Sarah Murky here.
Hi.
I'm going to have her jump on and say a few words. Sarah, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. I am Sarah Murky. I am the Community and Economic Development Assistant serving with the City of Florence through the Rare AmeriCorps program, which is a very long way of saying that I work with economic development here at the city. And I just wanted to come on and say thank you so much for everyone. This is a totally unprecedented time. As you can tell, I'm in my apartment instead of at City Hall. And I just wanted to specifically thank Rain for transitioning so quickly and adapting to the times. And then also reiterating that not only are cities here for you in the cities that you are currently in, but also know that everyone in Oregon's entrepreneur ecosystem is here for you. So make sure that you reach out. There's so many resources out there right now. It's a little overwhelming, but I know that the people that work with Rain are obviously the experts. And if they're not an expert in a certain field, they can get you attached. So there's always an answer to every question. So ask the question, and I know that Rain will find the answers for you as soon as they can. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. You've been an amazing partner. And actually, Florence was our signature city back in the day. They were the first city to invite us in to support small businesses. So thank you. Okay, let's dive in. Social media, maintaining customer engagement during COVID-19. So what is social media briefly? Social media is a place where people can social network. That is the definition through the dictionary. And what I found really interesting down here is it has created the ability to share photos, opinions, events, etc. in real time. And that has transformed the way that we live and also the way that we do business. It's quite incredible that we have this global community. Essentially, we can all hang out with each other in real time across the world. And it's created this global network of connection and also commerce. Now, during COVID-19, obviously this has been huge for all of us, and especially small businesses being hit very hard. The stories that we're hearing and the companies that we're supporting, it's very devastating. And some of us are trying to figure out what to do next, and maybe we can be online in a new way. We're trying to, we're rethinking our business model, and we may even need to pivot or change entirely. However, there could be a bright side. Your biggest opportunity may be right where you are now. I know that a lot of people are finding new ways to change their business, and the outlook is looking up. So hopefully we can all do that together. So I'm going to go through 10 tips for social media during COVID. And the number 1 tip is, during this time, we can think big and it can be really overwhelming, but we can also start small. And there's a lot of little bite-sized pieces that we can bite off and chew now. And fail fast and scale quickly. So many of you have heard this before, but rather than investing a ton of time and effort into something that ultimately fails. Why not just iterate in smaller pieces and fail fast, and then you can scale a lot faster over time. And how to do that? We can try lots of things. The bar is actually very low right now. It's literally from my living room to yours. And many of you have probably seen what people are doing on social media these days. I have heard online concerts just from people's living rooms and couches, people sharing what they're eating, what they're cooking. It's becoming way more accessible for everyone right now as we're all home on lockdown. Number 2, engage your customers. This is the perfect opportunity to really engage other people and our customers. We've shown this image many times in RAIN presentations, but there's something wrong with this. We're building our product or service over here to the customer, but instead we want to build it with the customer. So the best option would have the customer over here with us and we're all building it together. And now more than ever, we can do that. And how? To really go where your customer hangs out. So obviously we're all hanging out on social media. It's a place to go hang out and see things and talk about things. So really identifying who your customer is and where they hang out, what platform they're on, whether that's LinkedIn or Facebook. Maybe they're a younger demographic, they're on Snapchat. And then talking to them. This is a great opportunity to really engage your customer and say, hey, what do you want? What do you need right now? Things are changing. How can I be of best service to you? You can build your product and service together, #stronger together. And you can do that by surveys, polling, split testing or A/B testing. There's so many different ways of literally just asking a question, putting a survey together. A/B testing is literally saying, hey, do you guys like this logo or do you like this logo? Or you could even post 2 different things and see which one gets the most engagement. It's a great opportunity to try out different things and get a ton of feedback. I actually had a small business, actually a brewery starting up in Florence, and they had a new logo that they were trying to figure out, which one they liked. They had a few different options, and they posted on a Florence Facebook page, and they got over 100 comments in a day, and they got a lot of great information, which was awesome. So I highly recommend. Number 3 is stick to being you. So be authentic. It's really important for social media. You don't need to try and be somebody else. Be you and really understand your niche. So when I go to social media as a consumer, as a content consumer, I might be going to this person for tips and tricks on social media, and I might be going to this person for recipe tips, and I might be going to this site for news. But really understanding who you are and what your niche is, and then being very clear and sticking to that. People really want to know what to expect when it comes to social media. They want to know, they want to find you for your specialty. So be you and stick to your niche. And then number 4 is, of course, watch your competition. So be you, but also watch your competition. You can be really unique and authentic, but I think it's a great idea to understand what your competition is doing, how they're doing it, and you could see if you could improve your strategy. Maybe they're doing some things that are working really well that you could replicate. Follow your inspiration and your competition. So you might have some people that you idolize or businesses that you idolize. Definitely follow them. Stay on the pulse of their movement and understand what they're doing, how they're doing it. And you can borrow their tips and strategies and what they're doing. It's a great idea. You could literally go into your favorite Instagrammer and copy all their hashtags on their post and do the exact same hashtags in your posts. As you're starting out, you can see what some of the pros are doing. Maybe you're very experienced and you could still benefit from looking at what other people are doing. Number 5, I love this. So maybe you all have heard of the term FOMO, which stands for fear of missing out. So social media is definitely a place for creating this fear of missing out, this FOMO. um, Actually, I had a few examples. This one is Katie Bruchette with Coburg Fit Club, and she does a really good job from my perspective. And I'm in her, I'm in her demographic. I'm her target customer. You know, women between maybe 20 and 50 or whatever her target market is. But she does a great job. It's very engaging, fun. She's posting workshop, you know, workout tips and posts of great people doing great things. And when I look at this, I'm like, oh, I have this fear of missing out, right? I really want to be a part of this. So one of my other favorite Instagram businesses is Oatly. They're a oat milk non-dairy beverage, if you've heard of them, Oatly. And I was following them a while ago, looking at one of their posts, and the top comment in the post was, "Oh my gosh, Oatly, I love you. I want to be you." And I was like, oh, interesting. So social media is a great opportunity to really show a way of being, could be a lifestyle or a product or service that people want, or but I think in all marketing, people see something and they're like, wow, I could be this if I had that, right? So we're creating FOMO, we're creating this fear of missing out, and obviously not abusing that, but using it in a great way. You know, moving people towards fitness is a great way of doing that. Great job, Katie Bruchette. Little shout out, creating FOMO. Number 6 is consistency. So just like in any friendship, actually, just like a friendship, you know, if you just call them once every now and then, very sporadically, it doesn't work out as well, or you don't see them very often. Some people, obviously, you could not see for a long time, but maybe your close partner, it wouldn't work out if you were irregular. So consistency is really important with social media. Social media is about creating a community. So it's important to talk to your audience regularly to really understand what they want, who they are, and communicate with them. These are your people. Your customers are your people. One really interesting point that I've been reading about in social media is that back in the day, marketing was a lot more about really pushing things at you rather than building community. And with social media, this is really a chance to invite people in and build a community. Your customers become your community. Here we go. Yeah, just what I was saying. Tip number 7 is to talk with, not at. So just like in any relationship, rather than telling people what to do or what to buy or, anything of that nature, you really want to talk with them. So again, these are your people. Talk with them, not at them. It's a two-way street. Make sure that when you're posting and people are commenting, you're responding right away. You can turn on your notifications for any platform so that you get notified. It can be a little bit distracting, but especially in business, this is important. So when people write something, you got to respond right away. Say something back, invite them to, click on something else. Yeah, it's super important. Build your community. People love to talk about themselves and share. This is also a great point. We all love talking about ourselves, and so inviting people to, I just posted the other day, what are some of your, remote work habits? Like, how do you do it? Because I'm struggling with that, right? So inviting people in, asking questions so that they're able to chat and communicate to you. And then number 8 is to add value. So one really important thing is that when we're utilizing all of these social media platforms, that we are adding value. We're not just posting, whatever. I was gonna say silly things, but then I realized some sites are really just there for humor, which is of great value, especially during these times. But some ways that you could add value is through giveaways, especially during COVID-19. A lot of people are not consuming things, unfortunately, for all of us. Money is tight, and so if you have something that you're able to give away, that might not be a physical product, but it also could be your top tips and tricks on how to do something. It could be information. It could be an ebook or something that you've created that you're willing to share. It could be news and updates. So definitely during this time, super important to add value and also give as much as you can to your audience and your customers. So tip number 9 is that social media is sort of the top of a sales funnel in most cases. This is a picture of a sales funnel if you've seen this before. So obviously at the top, there's so many eyes on so many platforms seeing so many things. And these days it's just a complete sea. I mean, it's almost impossible to get seen sometimes. In some cases, it's just a zoo out there. So I'll share some tips and tricks to make sure that we are seen. So a sales tunnel, essentially, there's so much, and then you want to say, okay, out of all the people that are looking at what I'm doing, how many people are actually clicking on my post, and how many people are then moving on to potentially buy my product or service, right? So that's your conversion number. You know, out of 100 views, maybe you get 2 sales, or 1 sale out of that. Depends on what your conversion rate is. So what's super important about social media is that unfortunately you don't own your audience on social media. All of these platforms are owned by big companies, and your entire audience is not really yours to own. You don't have anything that is, of value necessarily, except followers or friends on any of these platforms. So it's super important to push them through to your website. Bring them home. So of course, the top of your sales funnel could be all of these social media platforms, but at the end of the day, you really want people to click on your website, and even better, to give their email address. And many people have a landing page or a giveaway that says, hey, if you give me your email, I'll give you this cool ebook or this great resource or this how-to, or you'll be entered into my community for updates if that's of value to them. So definitely bring them home. Okay, and then the last tip is business buddies. So this is actually crucial and critical for social media strategies. We have to help each other. So unfortunately, the algorithms on many of these platforms, when you post, it's such a sea and it's such a mass amount of information out there that it's really within the first 30 minutes to 2 hours, especially on Instagram, but also Facebook, in terms of engagement and the way that they prioritize showing things. So if your post gets clicked on, commented on, if there's a lot of engagement on that post within the first 30 minutes to 2 hours, then the algorithms will say, oh, this is great. We want to prioritize this. And so they put it higher up in the thread of things. And so it's super important, actually, if you can, to have a business buddy where you can say, hey, I just posted this really important blog post, or I just, this sales opportunity, this opportunity. If you wouldn't mind getting on, liking it, commenting, sharing, whatever, that's great. And then you can do the same for them. So create partnerships. And that's another great way of utilizing each other's audiences as well. If I could share something of yours to my audience and you could share something of mine to your audience, then we have 2 audiences that we're reaching, right? So creating those strong bonds, especially during this time. Stronger together during COVID, definitely the theme. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly go through many of the platforms, and then I'll give a demo of a few things, and then we'll have some questions. Okay, let's get at it. So Facebook. I think Facebook back in the day was, of course, really about college students. That's how it started. And nowadays, it seems like the college students have left, the younger audience has left, and it's more of a middle-aged audience. However, the younger people are starting to come back to Facebook. So it's interesting how social media platforms evolve and change, and how their customer base and their audience evolves and changes. Facebook is huge for e-commerce for sure, and it's super important to understand the difference between profiles, stories, pages, and groups, and you can utilize them in whichever way makes the most sense for your business. Groups are a powerful thing. That is a feature where you could have just a select group of people all having a specific conversation, like we have, entrepreneurs from Florence, and that's just a specific group and it's not open to anyone else. That's a powerful tool. Stories started on Instagram but are now on Facebook and many other platforms, and that's a great way of just sharing sort of updates, real live, what am I doing, what's up, and it's a great way just to build sort of camaraderie and build hype, you could say. So one little tip around Facebook, super important. It's a little way to trick the algorithm. So when you're posting on Facebook, you could have an image, you could do emojis, you could do whatever in your post, but it's really important you put the link in the comments. So because there's so many people sharing links of things, it just gets lost in the sea. So if you can, you could go to the website that you're wanting to share about, and you could take the image and you could post that in your post, but then you could say, hey, check out this cool thing, or check out this awesome event. The link is in the comments. So just make sure to say the link is in the comments when you share on Facebook. One way to trick the algorithm. Yeah, unfortunately, I've definitely seen on Facebook, I could post something and no one sees it. It's crazy. Like it just disappears. So definitely make sure that you're using some of these tips and tricks. Facebook marketing, some organic growth tactics. Again, partnerships are super important. Like I said, the business besties are the best. And then it's really important to ask for what you want. So whenever you're posting on Facebook, say, hey, if you wouldn't mind, liking this and sharing it, that would be awesome. I've seen so many, a lot of the people that I follow that are utilizing these platforms for business have a clear ask in their posts. And I respect that because I like them as a person or as an entity. And I'm part of their community and I support them. And so I'll do what they ask me to do. Not in all cases, but if I support them, I will. So definitely ask for what you need in your posts. So Facebook ads and boosts are definitely extremely powerful. I think there's 2 billion users on Facebook or something like that. That's insane. And so Facebook's marketing platform is massive, and e-commerce has become huge on Facebook in particular. The difference between ads and boosts: an ad, you can very much target a specific audience. And what's cool about ads is that you could put, a few dollars behind an ad and experiment with the audience that you created. You can get very granular. You could say, I'm targeting soccer moms that live in Sedona and shop at Whole Foods or something like that. Between these ages with 2 kids, you could get pretty granular with Facebook ads. So that's a great thing that you could experiment with. And again, it's really about experimentation. So you could put a few dollars on something, try it out, tweak it if it wasn't right, put a few more dollars towards something. Don't go crazy with Facebook ads, but it's really a great place of experimenting and can be very successful. And then boosts is with a current post that you've already made. You can try and boost its reach. You could try and boost it towards, all of Oregon or all of Lane County or, a specific region. And make sure you're targeting towards the right people. And I talked about some of these other things earlier. So, and if you have more questions about any of these things, you're welcome to reach out to me at any time. Okay, I'm gonna jump into Instagram. So Instagram, I would say is more of a lifestyle platform. It's really about pictures, stories, great for e-commerce. It's also growing right now. And as most of you probably know, Instagram is now owned by Facebook, so they're essentially one and the same. Definitely, yeah, e-commerce is huge on Instagram. During the holiday season, I bought a few things on Instagram. I think it was from China, and then my credit card got hacked. So just be careful about buying stuff on Instagram, but selling stuff on Instagram is a great option. And again, organic growth strategies is tagging for sure, which I'm going to talk about right now. So hashtags are sort of a unique ability to reach a broader audience. So let's say I'm really interested in sports. I might actually follow hashtag sports. Let's just say that. I'm following hashtag sports because I'm interested. It's essentially a way of aggregating news or aggregating my feed. So I can say, hey, I want to see stuff that's relevant to sports. So then anyone who posts something and hashtags sports, I will see, right? So this is a great way. I think you're allowed 30 hashtags in each post. You don't need to literally put 30 hashtags. I would say like 10 is fine at max. You don't need to go full out. But it's really important to think about different sized hashtags. So for instance, some hashtags you'll see when you start hashtagging, it will say like, oh, sports has, 50 million people utilizing this tag, or that it's, been used 50 million times. So that's a pretty big tag, right? But then you could do like sports in Sedona, and it would be like 100 people use this tag. So you actually want to have a variety of different sizes of tags in a post, because you want it to reach big audiences as well as smaller audiences. And because a big audience might be so big, right? It's a big ocean. It might be lost a little bit more. So you want to have small, medium, and large tags, if that makes sense. Yeah. And one fun way of utilizing tags is to sort of weave it into your speech and your conversation as your text, as you're, writing. You could be like, hey guys, during these COVID times, it's really challenging and I'm trying to stick together, hashtag stronger together. I'm really enjoying living in Oregon, hashtag Pacific Northwest, and whatever. You could sort of like put it in with your emojis and other things to sort of break up the text and make it more interesting and engaging. And it's great to not use the same hashtags over and over. You can totally do that, but I like to separate it out. So you could put different groups for different topics. This one is relevant to workshops. This one is relevant to my life. These ones are relevant to cooking, whatever. You could make little buckets of hashtags, and then you could copy and paste those in so that you're utilizing different ones as you go. Okay, and if you have more questions about hashtags, let me know. One tool that I really like is Later for scheduling Instagram. So I'll talk about this more a little bit later as well. Later, sort of funny name. Anyways, so there's lots of different platforms that allow you to schedule social media so that you're not constantly there all the time. It can be sort of intense to do. So Later is a really cool tool that actually allows you to upload a bunch of photos over here, and then you literally would drag it and drop it to anywhere on this calendar. And what doesn't show in this screenshot is that you can actually add different platforms. So you can actually sync this to Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest as well. So that you could do one post and it could hit all 4 platforms. Okay, so
Ariel, a
yeah.
couple people had a question regarding
Please,
that platform. Can several members of the same organization use it collaboratively?
I do believe so. There's different levels of payment. And again, Later is just one example of many different scheduling software. So what I would do is, look for specific to your needs, which platform makes the most sense for you. Later is free for one user with 4 platforms attached for 30 posts a month. So if you're going to post every day, you're fine. Once every day, you're fine to do a free version on here. And I think you can have multiple users for one account, but it might be a paid feature. You might need to upgrade to have multiple users. Yeah, but I can look into that and get back to you. Any other questions?
And also just point out, you can always use the same login for your company and
Right,
share that
totally.
with people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Pinterest is a unique one. I actually had I just thought that Pinterest was sort of old news and just for like cat photos, which is totally wrong. One of my friends is an avid Pinterest user, and she believes that it's actually the fastest place for organic growth online. It's basically a big search engine. And all the images can be tagged appropriately and bring people right back to your website, or to whatever you're linking to. It could be your email marketing platform. She has grown huge email lists through Pinterest, which I thought was really interesting. So maybe we could have a separate workshop on Pinterest alone, but it's definitely something to look into. It reaches the masses, and it's a great top of the sales funnel. A lot of passive income potential here. LinkedIn, as many of you know, is sort of a professional platform. It's definitely the most professional out of all the social medias. And this one, you could think of it as sort of your online resume, your way to connect with other, business professionals. I like to have, of course, all my work history, any unique accomplishments that I have. It's sort of just like your professional face. I have heard that this is really great for B2B connections. And it's also great for investment connections. I have one entrepreneur who actually found investment through LinkedIn. And I also have another entrepreneur who gets a lot of jobs. She's a journalist, and she gets a lot of jobs through LinkedIn as well. So it's a great place for, if you're looking for a job or if you're looking for someone to do a job, it's definitely a great place to be. And I recommend everyone, especially if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, to just at least have a basic LinkedIn page. It's sort of a great place to put on, great thing to have on your business card or your website for sure. Twitter. Twitter is definitely a very political space, I would say. I definitely go to Twitter for, political updates or banter, to just see, humorous arguments or memes going on. But it's also a great place for entrepreneurs. Definitely the tech community utilizes Twitter significantly, and I've seen it used in real time for live events, or it's a great way for communicating quickly and for building an audience, especially around business or politics. That's what I would say. It's definitely quite a few users, and significant, a bit more male than female, which is interesting. So just understanding the demographics of all the platforms. YouTube essentially is a search engine as well. So it's really important when you are uploading a video that you do some research on tags and most important trends. So let's just say you're, a raw food, you make raw food recipes. So I would literally Google which tags are searched the most on YouTube for raw food, right? So you could literally get a list of all the things that are most searched on YouTube, and then make sure to put that in your video. Because again, YouTube is a huge sea of content. So SEO is really important. Most of you probably know this term, but it's search engine optimization. And just think about it, like when I go to buy light bulbs on Amazon and I type in light bulbs, there's maybe, the top 5 listings that show, and then there's like, page 750. And would you go to page 750 to look at light bulbs? Probably not. You would probably just look at the top few searches, right? So that is the same for Google, for any of these platforms, that some of these tips and tricks for tagging or hashtagging, keywords, all of these things contribute to the way that you are hopefully rising in the search, if that makes sense. So yeah, YouTube, I've seen a lot of my friends are starting new YouTube channels right now because they're home, they have a little bit more time. And I think it's a great thing to do. We should all have a YouTube channel. I challenge you all. YouTube channel. Oh, and of course, many of you probably know that there's YouTubers these days that are making, you know, 6 figures, if not millions, on YouTube. And it's definitely just a few people out of the, gosh, so many that are entering the YouTube space. But it has become a business model for some people, content creators and influencer. Same with Instagram and other platforms. So email marketing, super, super important. And many of you have you probably know this, but some companies have literally been bought just because of their email list. Not because they had a great product or service, but just because they had a massive amount of emails. And someone else says, wow, I could email that many people. I could sell to that many people. So emails are definitely important. And if you're able, again, in your sales funnel to keep pushing people to your website and giving them an offering where they can put in their email for something in exchange, it's a great way of doing things. And again, as you're talking to your email list, as you're writing newsletters or updates, it's super important to treasure and nurture your friends, not your subscribers. The emails that I actually read are, you know, really content driven. They're exactly what I'm wanting, or they're, you know, a cool quote unquote friend a personality that I want to hear about their life. So it's really important to, again, really think about what your customer needs and wants, and then talk to them, talk with them. And another great tip is utilizing your subscribers for business decisions. You could say, hey guys, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? And I would say that this is universal for all the different platforms, that we really want to invite people into our business decisions, especially during these uncertain times. We'll definitely get a lot of interesting information by asking. And ConvertKit is one of many different platforms that help you build an email list. And if you're interested, I have more resources around building email lists in particular. Canva. So this is actually a design tool, and I'm just gonna hop out of this presentation briefly and show you guys what Canva is, because for many of us trying to become a creator online, we're thinking about our graphics, and some of us are like, well, you know, I don't know how to design things or make things look good. So I just wanted to show you briefly. This is Canva here, and it is an awesome platform that allows you to design very sophisticated things very easily. There's so many templates. So they have pre-made templates and a huge database of content that's extremely accessible, and it's also free until you want some of their more advanced features, which most people probably won't need. But just briefly, I was going to show you guys. So this would be an Instagram size. Let's just say, you know, when I clicked on it, I wanted to make an Instagram post. So they have all of these templates over here. I can say, wow, I really like this one. You click on it and it shows up over here, if it will load. And then you can play around. You could change all the colors. You could change the text out. Let's see, look over here. I could add some elements. My internet is a little bit slow right now. But yeah, look, oh wow, look at all these cool things. I could put this tiger, definitely would like a tiger here. Wow, this is starting to look amazing. Yeah, and then I wanna, oh yeah, I wanna search food. I wanna put some food in here. And then it'll populate with a bunch of different icons, already made images that I can select on. Oh yeah, this looks really amazing. It's starting to feel like this is gonna be gonna go viral. Yeah, so what's awesome again is that you can play around, you can change the colors, you can add whatever you want. Over here I have my uploads, so I have all like my own image bank that I have uploaded all these images. There's different background settings. You could do music, video, text, Now there's GIFs. You could do actually moving little video GIFs in here. So Canva is insane and super great. And again, you could make flyers, you could make Facebook posts, you could make logos, posters. I just highly recommend Canva. It is so fun to play with. So I challenge all of you to make something better than what I made, and tag me in it. Tag me in it on your social media. Make something on Canva and tag me so that I can share it to my audience. And yeah, let's see if you can beat me, beat my beautiful design skills. Okay, I just have last few slides and then we'll open it up to more questions. Okay, great. Okay, so just a few miscellaneous social media tips at the end here. So 3-month rule is really important, that you don't need, I mean, a lot of people, you know, in the days in this era of social media think like, wow, I just need to make something viral, or, you know, it'll blow up. And that happens sometimes, rarely, but it really takes time to build an audience. So if you're starting a new social media platform, or if you're just trying to grow and expand yours, just think of like a 3-month rule. Like it's a long game. It's not a short game. And vulnerability is powerful right now. Telling your story or just who you are, especially during COVID, people really want to connect. I think human connection is super important as we're all alone by ourselves in our houses, and trying to figure out what's going on in this world of uncertainty. So definitely being you, building an audience, and sharing your story and getting others to share theirs, I think is super important right now. But it's a long game. It takes time. So Jessica is one of my entrepreneurs out on the coast, and she's amazing. She is a social media star, and she actually she does this as a business. So, you know, she has a bunch of different clients, and she does the entire social media package for you. She's a great resource. She's very booked right now, but yeah, she's actually blown up during COVID because everyone is trying to get online, of course, but she's written a few books. But she has a great resource for you all. So if you go to revivedsocials.com/rain, she actually has an online course that's soon going to be available just for people with this link, just for RAIN participants, which is really exciting. And then she also just has tons of tips and tricks. She has a blog. Revivesocials.com just in general has how-tos on everything. How to build your social media, how to build Pinterest, how to build your email list. So I think this is just a fabulous resource, and it's one of our entrepreneurs in our network. So please support her. She is fabulous. And just to close out, this is our team. We are here for you. We are having tons of online sessions to brainstorm about how we can best serve you and how we can best, create a thriving community during these times of challenge. And we have lists and lists of resources available right now. And we are here for one-on-one mentorship. That's what we do. So please reach out. We would love to have an hour session with you, if not more, and really, help you in your specific business and your needs. We are here for you. That's it. Let's open it up to questions. Oh, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see all of your faces.
So in previous workshops that I've been in involving social media, one of the things that came up is that certain platforms like Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that have actively been looking for the power users and kind of de-escalating them when they register that they're using certain programs to automatically make posts.
Yeah, I think in some cases that's true. I think it also depends on if you seem like a bot, like if the way that you're interacting with your social media is very passive and you're just pumping stuff out via your platforms. But if you use it in combination to your own, if you create this whole calendar and then you also go back in and you're constantly checking those posts and you're talking with people, then it's less of a bot situation. So I think you'll be safe. But yeah, that definitely is a concern if it just is too automated.
One thing that I've personally had issues with is I tend to share events. That's the main thing that I promote in the area, is different events for different people.
Mm-hmm.
And promoting it to multiple groups, I haven't been able to find a way to do it to make like one post. I have to individually share it to each group. Is there any way you found around that?
I have not. Corey, you're nodding your head. Do you have an answer to that?
Oh, I wasn't necessarily nodding my head.
Oh, I thought you were like, yes, no problem.
That said, if you, I mean, this is sharing a link, so it's not quite as great, but if you click on the, if you find the actual event link URL, it can make it a little faster for sharing and those things.
Right.
But one thing that I do know, and Ariel briefly touched on it for social media strategies, is really the majority of algorithms are focusing on whatever content engages people the longest. So if people are commenting on and liking and even just in their phone staring at your post longer, the social media platform is going to be pushing that up in their algorithms for other people to view. Because remember, these companies make their money based off of keeping you on social media as long as possible. It allows them to show more ads to people, etc. So the more engaging your content is, and that's why video is a really important one, that gets people actually like looking at it for more than a few seconds, the better results you're going to have as far as engagement.
Yeah. And actually, on that note, stories are becoming more and more powerful right now, and a lot of people are utilizing them for business purposes as well. And one little trick is to actually embed some tags in your story as well. It's a great way of making your story have a broader reach.
Yeah, as somebody pointed out in chat, and I just tested it myself, the revivedsocials.com couldn't find the page you're looking for.
Oh, shoot. Revivesocials.com, then just don't do /rain.
So I have a question about tourism-based businesses and organizations right
Sure.
now, given the challenge of not really wanting people to come, but to try to keep that alive and keep them engaged. And we've been doing a lot of different things, and many are working well, we think, but just to throw it out there as gathering ideas for that.
Yeah. The tourism industry is definitely getting hit super hard right now. I think I don't have any specific ideas right now, but I think that if you all could band together with some other, more seasonal tourist businesses in your region, there could be some great solutions by all working together. Maybe you could create a virtual, like I've been seeing some of the, great chapels in Rome, they're doing like virtual tours instead that you pay for, and like the Sistine Chapel and stuff. So maybe there are ways that you could create a virtual offering. Yeah, I don't know what specifically your business is, but I think having a think tank and a bunch of other businesses in the room or in the virtual virtual room, so that you could all support each other would be a great strategy right now. And talking to your customers, I think you could create a survey. You could say, hey, for those of you that were going to be coming here the next few months to the Oregon coast or wherever, what would you like to see from us?
Hi, Ariel. I have a question. John Fogel. Thank you so much. I've been taking a lot of notes. I am going to tag in a Canva. I'm going to make an infographic and.
Yay! Tag me. Excellent.
I had a question. So I have a potted Christmas tree company. So 7-foot tall potted trees. And the world calls my product living trees. So for the hashtag living trees, but I actually want to grow a hashtag or two or a few, or maybe even more than a few hashtags, because I don't know, in this world, there's lots of different names for everything, like the USB drive and the flash drive and the thumb drive. So have you ever heard about growing tags, like
Absolutely.
having a campaign for like years where, you know, maybe a year or two down the line, you know, you have hashtag potted trees and a few others that you've actually grown yourself? Like
Absolutely.
not that you've grown, but like you've heard of that before and it's
Oh,
possible.
absolutely. No, that's a great strategy. And if you are in a business that you'd like to create your own tag, definitely do that. And then the fun thing is that I've seen a lot of businesses that say, hey, we're giving a free giveaway. We're going to give you a free Christmas tree if you tag someone, if you tag 2 people in this post, if you tag 2 of your other friends in this post, and you hashtag, I love potted Christmas trees or whatever, your own tag that you've created. So yes, absolutely, you can grow your own tags, and that's a great thing to do.
Awesome. Thank you very much again.
Of course.
Woo.
Other questions?
Hi, Ariel. It's Joshua Green. I have a question.
Yeah.
If I remember when you were talking about Instagram, you made reference to, I think you said, have different buckets with different hashtags. Is that a feature on Instagram? Because I'm not aware of it.
Okay, so no, Instagram itself doesn't allow you to save groups of hashtags.
Okay.
But you could literally, like, sometimes I've seen people on their phone, how there's like a note app. You could literally just, you could put all your favorite hashtags in your notes, and then you could just copy and paste them into your post.
No, that's why I called, because that's what I do. And I was
okay. Oh, perfect. There is, if you start using the Later app, it actually does let you save groups of different hashtags, and then you can just click on that. You've titled it Christmas tree group or whatever, and you click on that and it populates all those tags into your post. So yeah, there are platforms that allow you to aggregate and to save
but
different groups.
Not Instagram directly.
Not Instagram directly, no.
Cool. Okay, well, thank you for the clarification. It's been a wonderful talk. I very enjoyed it so much, and thank you for all the effort.
Good. Thanks, Josh. I'm glad you joined. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to leave you all, and thank you so much for the work you do, Rain, in our area.
Thanks,
and all
Josh.
over the state.
Awesome. Get better.
Bye. Thank you. Bye,
Take
everybody.
care. Bye. Any other last questions?
I don't know. My name is Sarah Fraser. I work with Camellia Moss over at Camelia's Candles. I'm starting her marketing and all of that. This has been an awesome class because it's given me a lot of great ideas. Thank you.
Oh, good. Yay, I'm so happy to hear that. Awesome. Well, definitely tag us. Tag us in what you're doing so we can see and share. Yeah, you guys can all tag Oregon Rain, and you could also tag me. Yeah, did you have a question? Were you raising your hand?
Nope.
Is that Blue Orbital? Okay, I'll unmute you. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if I can unmute you. Can you unmute yourself, Blue Orbital?
Hi.
Awesome.
Yes. Quick question here.
Sure.
Now I'm new to Zoom.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start. I'm trying to market some products that are coming in soon off my websites, and can you do that on Twitter too? Can you use these hashtags on Twitter?
Yeah, hashtags, definitely you can use them on Twitter. It's not as big of a thing. Hashtags, I think, are more Instagram than anything. Yeah, it's definitely more of an Instagram thing. Does anyone else have any thoughts on Twitter, Corey?
Yeah, for Twitter, you would want to maybe try to create content that relates to a hashtag that's trending. So, keep appraised of what's going on and what the top hashtags are, as Twitter is sort of very focused on current things and often related to news or other stuff like that. So if you see a hashtag that's trending and you can relate your product to it in some manner, that might be a good way to use Twitter.
That's a great tip.
Twitter always struck me as a better way to market to people that actively follow you as opposed to getting new people to follow you when it comes to products.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, and again, the
Anyone
best social platform that you really want to focus on is the one where your customers are. And if you don't know where your customers are or which platform they're using, that's a great opportunity to start to interview them via your mailing list or whatever and figure that out. Because just trying to do like 5 platforms is going to be, unless you're a multimedia or a huge multinational firm or whatever, and you can hire social media product managers and all of that, it's going to be really rough. So you really want to focus in on where the majority of your paying customers are using it and build your brand there.
Right. Again, like, you know, I wouldn't suggest going to TikTok if you're marketing towards, you know, grandparents, right? It just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, really identifying where your customers hang out.
Right.
I don't know. Don't underestimate some of those grandparents on TikTok now.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. That's true.
Well, especially these days, everybody's been trying new platforms that they've never experienced before. So the audiences are completely mixed up these days.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a good point. We're all bored on our couches, so.
Right.
Although weirdly enough, even though I'm stuck at home and have more time, I feel like I have less time because I've been filling it by taking multiple webinars and working on multiple projects for multiple organizations. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I think this is a great opportunity. I mean, we could all be fitter, smarter, more educated, healthier by the end of this whole thing. Right. But I know that Netflix has gone up in views exponentially. So who knows what everyone's doing at home?
I know. Oh,
yeah.
My house is cleaner.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you all so much for joining. It's such a pleasure to see you all and to be a part of this online community now. And again, please reach out to me with any questions, thoughts, or concerns, or ideas of next topics for future webinars and workshops. And again, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I will email all of you some resources as well. So stay tuned for that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Take care. Stay well.
Hey, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Up there, guys. Take care.